Let us sing this one together. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go, let go, let go. Let's sing that together. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go, let go, let go. Be still and surrender to your heart. Be still and surrender to your heart. Be still and surrender to your heart. Be still, be still, be still. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go. We're going to sing let go and surrender to the flow. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go, let go, let go.
Let go and surrender to the flow. Friends, I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Become aware of your breath. And let go of the tension, the pull to the outside world, to that manifest experience. Surrender to the flow of spirit. Surrender to the power and the presence and the light and the love that exists in consciousness. And just with a gentle exhalation, become a little more relaxed, a little more present in your physical body, and a little more present to that unlimited place in consciousness, illuminated right now with a spark of divinity that is calling you to your highest and best good, that is calling all of us to our best and highest good. In this place in consciousness, this divine light, this divine spark is the place where we can release old beliefs as we grow and evolve. Our introspective work to know those thoughts and those ideas, those beliefs that lead us to action in our conscious mind and in our subconscious mind. There is a place here where we can root that out and surrender it. Not because it was bad, not because it is bad. Surrender it because we are growing and evolving. We are becoming less of me and more of thee. less personality, more individualized expression of the one mind. In alignment with truth. And so we let go of those ideas, those beliefs, those things that now feel limiting, that feel like shackles. We let those things go now as we grow, as we expand into more awareness of the presence of love. I let go and surrender to the flow. I let go and surrender to the flow in the stillness and in the silence. Let's let go and surrender to the flow. Just for a moment in the silence. I let go of old beliefs as I grow and evolve. I let go of that which does not serve me now as I grow and evolve. I let go and surrender to the flow. Knowing that at any time, with a gentle breath, I can be here in this space, in this time, communing in that place in consciousness where I surrender to the flow. Maintaining that experience of surrender to a divine higher good, I invite you to bring your awareness and your presence back to this space and time where we are together, releasing that which no longer serves. Surrender to the flow. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go, let go, let go. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go and surrender to the flow. Let go, let go, let go. Let go. And as we prepare to receive Rev Todd's message, let us sing, I will sing this one for you. This one is a song by Eddie Watkins, and it's called I Am the Place Where God Shows Up. Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes comes from living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there is nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and hath its feeding. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its feeding. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things that I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have enough of mind and body to live a life of grace and of wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there is nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its feeding. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its feeding. I am the place where God shows up. You are the place, I am the place. You are the place that God shows up.
Thank you, Deidrey. That was a little Eddie Watkins Jr. for us this morning, and I love that song. So thank you, Deidrey. Happy Sunday. It's y'all get tired of hearing this, but it really is fun when we stand up and start the service and we sit down and we stand back up and there's so many more people. I love that. I brought up last week, I think, that I was feeling a little overwhelmed, a little exhausted maybe. Does anybody else ever make some poor eating decisions when? Pizza. I give thanks today, our gratitude, I give thanks for the day for whoever decided, hey, we should take some dough and put some sauce on it and some cheese. And because it's delicious. And I know a few people that don't like pizza, and I'm like, what? And of course, people are like, you don't like raisins? But raisins are like dried up, desiccated grapes, right? But pizza's one of those things that it can divide a household, right? Because who joins me in believing that pineapple does belong on a pizza, right? I got people shaking their heads. Ernie's going to give himself a concussion shaking that head so hard. But some of us do, right? And so it's good that our imagination, that our imaginations are a little bit different. But a lot of those imagination differences are because our personalities are different. And when we that personality and that imagination that we have, right, it can really get distracted by news cycles that never end. health uncertainties that are lingering that we don't really know what to make of, systems in the world that feel brittle, and I don't know about y'all, but bodies that remind us that they are not permanent. Right, this amazing spacesuit that I am moving around in the world in, that I know is fine, was hurting a little bit this week because I moved something, and I don't know what happened right here, but try to lay down and get comfortable, and then I saw a video this week where this woman was doing one of these exercises where it was pulling up. And it was, a lot of weight, and she was really working on, this muscle, right? Yeah. And we're like, what is she training for, right? And then it shows her in the bed with like 4 dogs, and she's trying to pull the covers up. And I could relate to that. We read in our scriptures in Isaiah, God will keep you in peace when everything else settles down. Oh, wait, that is not what it says. Isaiah says, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose imagination is stayed on thee, whose mind is stayed on God. The 26th verse of Isaiah is a song of praise. And it's telling us you're going to stay in perfect peace when you keep your imagination, when you keep your mind, when you keep your faculties focused on love. And all that other stuff gets in the way. Gets in the way. Peace is not available to us because our circumstances are controlled. It's not available because everything in the world is orderly and exactly as we think it should be. Peace is available when we are stayed on the presence of love as the activating force of our life. Peace is not about situations. Peace is about living in a direction. Living while facing the truth of love and being that truth of love. And so now we are engaging in this spiritual exploration, this journey. It's an annual journey of Lent as we explore the teachings of Jesus, our way shower, as we explore what is it that Jesus taught, how he lived. Just four of our scriptural books. And we talk about releasing. Lent is this season of letting go, of overcoming the limitations of the material world. And it's so easy, I think, to sometimes experience shame that, I've got to give this up because this is a bad thing, and feeling shame about that. And that's not what this is about. Lent is about releasing with joy, not because that was bad or wrong, but releasing it because it no longer serves who I am called to be in the world. Letting go of those ideas, beliefs, behaviors, attitudes that no longer serve who you are being called to be in this manifest world. We read about it in our daily word. Beautiful. Thank you so much for reading for us, Lucinea and Susie. Reading our daily word and occasionally getting tongue-tied. Has that ever happened to you when you were trying to read out loud? Even when you're alone, and we get embarrassed by it. But why? We've got some attachment on how it's supposed to sound. And I got news for you, Lucinea. Nobody knew that you were tongue-tied. It sounded like a beautiful song to us. And when somebody says, I think they should speak English, I think you should learn a second language. I think you should learn a second language, or a third, or a fourth. I mean, I've tried. I mean, I ran, it's been a very long time ago. It's probably 20 years, almost 20 years now that I went to Paris with my friend Joe. And I ran around town thinking that I was, so clever. And I kept looking for the bathroom and I kept saying, "Où est le livre?" Because I thought, I was saying, "Where's the book?" Instead of "Where's le salle de bain," right? Because I'm ridiculous. And, and I was, they were American. So, let's give up those things, right? But we have all these beliefs that have shaped us from our upbringing, from our faith traditions as a child, from our survival strategies. You have a survival strategy? I mean, I have survival strategies. I have in the midst of being in certain places changed the way I carry myself, keep my hands in my pockets, because when this is a giveaway and not always safe, right? But I find out from friends about some of their survival strategies. I have female friends who tell me that, when they're walking alone in a parking garage on a dark night, that they fix their keys in their fingers so that they can fight if they need to. We all have these survival strategies of things because there is a cultural fear that exists. And that becomes a challenge because we are these complex creatures, because we are spiritual beings having this physical experience. We are fully human in our expression, and we are fully divine in essence. And we have these ideas, these beliefs, these behaviors that once fit. And that one time they protected us, but they also confine us. And then in Jeremiah 40, we have a declaration. "Now look, I have just released you today from the fetters on your hands. See, the whole land is before you. Now look." All this stuff is available to you in divine mind, where imagination begins. All of this is available to you. And so we must release that which no longer serves. And so Lent, this entire spiritual journey up to the resurrection, is asking us what belief has become limiting, what belief has become a fetterer in our lives. And releasing these things is not dishonoring who we were. It's not dishonoring our families of origin. It's not dishonoring a religion that once held heavy sway in our life. It is honoring who we are becoming. And so release makes room for conception, for us to birth a greater reality. There is a power and a peril to this faculty of imagination. What we teach in Unity is very clear, that imagination forms. Imagination is that faculty in which we see clearly, like we grab a hold of the ideas from divine mind, right? Because every idea that you can have exists in divine mind already. And so we use our imagination to grab hold of that and bring it into our lives. And whatever is picturing there, right, it becomes active in us. Everything. And so let's be clear, if we start rehearsing catastrophes, we embody anxiety. If we start rehearsing scarcity, we embody fear. If we rehearse grievance, we embody rigidity. All these things are true. If we imagine abundance, we experience prosperity. See, imagination, this faculty of imagination, is neutral. it is going to serve up whatever you feed it. Whatever you are sending out, the vibration, the energy, the vision, the outpicturing of that is going to show up in our lives. And it doesn't matter what it is, it's just going to do it. Luckily, we do have grace. That's a whole other talk. That because when I was a high school student and I won a poetry contest for my poem that was about death and destruction and nuclear war and all of that, right? Grace meant that the whole world did not blow up, but because all of the horrible things that we can imagine don't always happen, right? But that feeling can show up in us. So send out good stuff, right? Isaiah tells us, don't stop imagining. Don't sacrifice your connection of divine mind to accept these divine ideas, because this is all laid out for you. And Isaiah says, and keep it focused on God, on good, on love. Keep everything focused on God, on good, on love. Because through love, we can experience liberation. Our opening song was Wade in the Water. I don't know if you remember the story. Wade in the Water is an old Negro spiritual. It comes out of the tradition of enslaved Africans in this country running away, and it was instructions to get in the water. Wade in the water, because the dogs can't smell you. The dogs can't track you through the water. And what they were doing was illegal. Running away was not legal. Seeking your own freedom was not legal. Does that make it wrong? Jesus taught with parables. And I found a story that is parable-like in researching this week. And if this is a true story, I don't know it. I just know that I found the story and it resonates and it proves my point. But I want to tell you about a young man named Bobby. Bobby is in elementary school, and he goes to a school where behind the principal's desk is this huge poster that says, kindness matters. This is a value of this school, where kindness matters. And Bobby knows this. And one day in this school, they're going through the cafeteria to get lunch, and Bobby gets his pizza, his square pizza. Y'all remember square pizza from school? His square pizza. It's a rectangle, not really a square, but yeah. And then his friend, his best friend, Billy, is right in line behind him. And Billy gets his pizza and his lunch, and he turns over his lunch card, and the cafeteria cashier swipes it, and it declines. And so she takes Billy's lunch, and she throws it away and hands him a jelly sandwich. And so Billy doesn't really like jelly sandwiches. And they go and they have a seat. And Bobby attempts to give Billy half of his pizza, because kindness matters. And the lunch monitor takes now both lunches and throws them away, and Bobby has to go to the principal's office because we have a rule, we have a policy that we don't share food because there could be allergies, there are all these different ramifications because this is not right. We can't do this. And so Bobby's father gets called away from his job. He's a construction worker, and he shows up, and he's like, believing that his child has done something terrible, and there is a no tolerance policy for sharing lunch. And he's like, well, why? And he's sitting in front of the principal with this banner behind her that says kindness matters. And we can't allow children to share their lunches. And he goes, well, does Billy have a cheese allergy or a wheat allergy or and they were like, no, it's just against the policy. We can't allow this. And the father finally said, well, what's the balance on Bobby's Billy's card? Billy that had his lunch on the road. What's the balance on his? And she was like, oh, he owes like $6.30. So the father gives her a $10 and said, add this to his account. And ask his son. He's like, well, why did you do this? And the son was like, well, he doesn't like jelly sandwiches, and I knew he was hungry, and I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought it was the right thing to do. And so his dad looked at the principal and said, if my son ever shares his lunch again, I expect you to look the other way. And then he took his son out for lunch for pizzas, because his son still hadn't eaten. We can't attest to having something as a value in our lives and then not using that fifth principle to show up for it. And there are things that are legal that are not just in our world. And you might know what some of them are. You might have an opinion on what some of these things are. But a sign that says kindness matters and a rule that says no sharing do not align. And so my question is, which authority governs your imagination? Which authority governs your imagination? Is it the authority of the manifest world, or do you have your imagination focused on God to do what is right according to the values that you hold? It's not about being rebellious. It is about embodiment of the truth you know. In this parable, I think the school imagines that order must be preserved, and the child imagined that compassion must be practiced. Imagination can either protect policy or it can protect dignity. And sometimes to embody the kingdom of God, we must refuse to let rules override righteousness. Jesus broke rules. He healed on the Sabbath. He fed without permission. He touched those that were labeled untouchable. Holy imagination will disrupt tidy systems. And it is not reckless. It is righteous. When we conceive of an idea, we are grabbing hold of what already exists in divine mind. And I invite you to sit with this week. What is God trying to conceive in you this Lent season? Is it a braver compassion? Is it a softer response? Is it a refusal to participate in cruelty? Is it a deeper trust in the face of health uncertainty? Right? We have all these beliefs that have served us and served us well. And it might be time to release them. Ideas about protection of ourselves or our loved ones. It might be following the crowd. It might be about fear of what the future is going to bring. Some of us, I believe, including me, need to find those beliefs that would have us obey anything that contradicts love. What in you is contradicting love? What is it seeking to limit in you? And can you conceive something larger? If you're willing to play with me this morning, I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. And I would like you to notice what belief is feeling tight in you right now. It might be a belief about yourself, about your body. It might be a belief about the world that is tight, that is constricted, that is fettered. I can't say that word. Whatever belief is tight, that is in opposition to love. With a gentle exhale, release it. Not with violence, but with gratitude. At one time, this belief served me. It need not govern me now. At one point, this belief served you. It need not govern you now. And with a gentle breath, I invite you to imagine the person that you are becoming during this Lent season. Who are you becoming by the time we reach Easter Sunday? How does that version of you respond to chaos? How does that version of you speak when provoked? How does that version of you carry peace in a very loud world? Feel that in your body. Stay your imagination there. Stay it on God and let silence do its work. Stay your imagination there. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We cannot imagine peace and rehearse outrage. We can't envision abundance and speak scarcity. We cannot conceive of courage and act in fear. conceive, envision, and embody. Embodiment looks like sharing pizza, speaking when silence is safer, offering kindness where policies and procedures say no. Embodiment looks like staying gentle when the world is harsh. This is not some dramatic practice. This is our daily ritual. And it might sometimes put you at odds with the authority of the day. Lent prepares us for that. So as we move forward towards Easter Sunday, I would invite you to release what no longer fits. Conceive what love is birthing in you and envision a world that is governed by compassion. And embody that. Embody that. Even when it costs you. And stay your imagination on God, on good, on unconditional love. Perfect peace is not passive. It is practiced. Perfect peace is practiced. And that is the way we overcome and achieve eternal life. And that, friends, is what I was asked to share with you today. And I give thanks for your ears. I love you all.
Thank you, Rev Todd, for your message. Wow. This is a song by Gordon Burnham. I feel so inspired by your message. There's a heart, oh, there's a heart that will never turn away. There's a love that I know is here to stay. There is a peace that will fill the world one day, and it's all inside me. There's a friend who will always care for me. Every hour of my life be there for me. There is a strength that will always carry me, and it's all inside me. And I know I will find my way to the peace that is mine. Oh, the love and the light I need wait for me here inside. There is a faith that will see me through each day. There is a word that is here each time I pray. There is a song that will heal the world today, and it's all inside me. There is a spirit divine and ever free. There is a light that will shine shine eternally. There is a dream of a world in harmony, and it's all inside me. And I know I will find my way to the peace that is mine. All the love and the light I need wait for me here inside, deep inside.
Oh, what a beautiful song, Deidrey. It is so wonderful to have you back with us today. We're grateful that you're here.